moment, we should be live. Let's just see. Of course, if we are, because, that's relatively important. It says we are on my Xbox. Let's see if the stream is up on Twitch. It is indeed. Alright, so, hey guys, it's Mister again for another video today. And we are back with our fantasy draft franchise mode. And in this one, we are here to sim through what I believe to be season number 8? 9. Sorry, season number 9. Yeah? Season number 9, is that correct? That doesn't sound very correct to me. What am I doing? This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to check full career stats for Drouin. So we started in 2017, 2018. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So we are starting a season number 9. And this probably is the best team we have been able to put on the ice throughout this series. Now, obviously, if you guys have missed a couple of episodes, we made a trade, and it's the only trade I've ever made in this series, because for the most part, the rule is basically no trades unless they are drafted by Tampa, of course, or the players we would be trading for. We can't trade for draft picks or anything of the sort, but players, if we were to draft them, it would strictly have to be players who have been drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we were able to trade for Nikita Kucherov. Now, it took a lot. We had to give up a medium elite goaltending prospect, Anthony Cirelli, Vladislav Nemestikov, I believe our first for this season, and something else, which I do not quite remember what it was. But nonetheless, we have Nikita Kucherov on the team, who just came off of a 90-point season, and hopefully he will look to replicate that this season, playing alongside Jonathan Drouin, who did not have a tremendous season last year, because we've seen in this season he is able to get to that point per game / close to point per game mark. Although, to be fair, he had a better season last season than he did the 2 seasons before that. So hopefully he can improve, get close to that point per game. And obviously on the left wing of Drouin, we have Todd Jaspers, who last season had his a new career high in goals for Jaspers in 31. Plus he also had his second career high in points throughout a season. So Jaspers, I think, is really good, and I think since all 3 of these players can score, I'm worried to see about how that is going to work out, but maybe Drouin could turn into a playmaker to pass to Kucherov, and Jaspers can just do both, being a goal scorer and a playmaker, I guess. Now, I did think about trying Olli Hentunen on that top line, just to have some more scoring for the second line, or even having Brett Howden. I was just looking for someone who could play center for that top line, but it wasn't really a thing I was capable of doing, unfortunately. So we're going to stick with Drouin, and we'll see how that line works. I mean, it could flop, or it could be the best line in hockey. I guess we'll have to see, and we'll know soon enough. So our second line, we have Juha Alavara, who's 86 overall, 21 years old. Tremendous. He's also listed as a third liner, which is nice to see as well. But with all of his stats being higher overall, I guess, from morale, he's probably an 84, maybe an 83, maybe an 85. But he's on the second line with Olli Hentunen and Matthew Joseph. Our third line is Oleg Tuden with Brett Howden and Tyson Cullimore. The fourth line is Vitaly Leonov. So he will be making what I believe to be his NHL debut, yes. So he just came off 2 tremendous seasons in the AHL. And then Lawrence Like is our fourth line center, and JC Goddard is our fourth line right wing. So our left wings, pretty good. Our centers, pretty good. And our right wings, pretty good as well. Could argue that our second line is not the greatest second line, but to be fair, it's not a bad one either. Third line, really good third line. Fourth line is a pretty good fourth line, if you ask me as well. Now, as for defensemen, that's who else we had to give up. We also had to give up on Anthony DeAngelo in that trade for Kucherov. So, like I said, it was not a cheap trade whatsoever. But San Jose got a lot of things to help them out. Although we only got one player, but that opens up a spot for Sean Chipchura, who is making his NHL debut. And it now works out relatively good because we have 3 lefties all playing on the left, and then we have 3 righties all playing on the right, which I'm very happy to see. So our top pair for the God only knows how many seasons in a row, probably 6 at least, Hedman and Merkley. We'll see how they do, and we'll see how many points they can put up together. Our second pair, Cal Foote, still there, obviously has not changed, but he's now playing with Ronnie Woolley. So not too bad. Still not great, though. We'll see if he will be able to put up points. And if he can't, I'm going to try Pat Stillman up there just because he can put up points. And he could help Foote out on that point production as well. And then, the third pair is Pat Stillman, who I think this might be his 4th or 5th year in the NHL. This is his 4th season. And he'll be playing with rookie Sean Chipchura, 24 years old. He hasn't been great in the AHL. He's a really good goal-scoring defenseman for some reason, but we'll see how he does. Now, we'll go over the special teams after we look at the goalies. So, our starter for this season is Ronnie Thomas, who is an 89 overall. So, after that tremendous postseason he had, and I mean, to be fair, his regular season was really good as well, but after the absolutely outstanding postseason he had, he got a humongous jump from an 83 overall to an 89 overall, and it's just natural growth as well, which is tremendous. So we now have our number 1 in Ronnie Thomas. Hopefully he does stay at an 89 because I have seen goalies tend to fall back down to a mid-80 after they get a big boost like this, or in that case, I should say. Our backup goalie is Oliver Rodrigue. I believe he has had the backup role before. We gave him a chance for one season. He was not great. Hopefully he can do better now with this opportunity. So our special teams, I'm not going to go over them, but you guys can look at them there. Obviously, you guys can just pause the video if you want to really look at them, but I'm just going to go through them quickly. And as we do, I need to take a drink. All right, so those are all of our lines. That's everything I guess you need to know for the NHL. Now, for the AHL, we have a very good player currently playing in the AHL. His name is Stephen Fast, or Fast. I really don't know how you pronounce that. Stefan Fast. I don't know. Stephen Fast. We're just going to stick with Stephen Fast. Playing with what I believe to be his fellow Swede, Torsten Gustafsson. Yep. So we'll see how things go. I'm not going to go over this too much, but we have Rocky Nash, who I believe making his AHL debut. Yes, indeed. Kalle Zibanejad with Alexei Lipanov and Robinson Gertson. Our third line of Louis Giunta, Jesper Modine, and Toby Hicketts, I believe, also making his AHL debut. And then Felipe Glue with Stephen Wolf and Brett Connolly. So I decided to bring Brett Connolly back to our team. Obviously, he was drafted by Tampa. He was one of the original players we had on our NHL team. He's now back, and I had to give him a pretty healthy contract so he could get closer to the cap floor. So obviously, you can see that there. Now, defensively, we have Bear Fair with Nathaniel Kristanovich. Then we have Boris Kulemin, who I'm still absolutely stunned by. He's 20 years old, medium 7th, which isn't great, but he's 75 overall, also making his AHL debut. And then we've got Kent Welsh, I believe, also making his. No, sorry, he's not. But he's actually not too bad. He didn't have a bad season last year. Then with Steven Bednars, and Spike Valesi to be our third pair. The goaltending tandem is Shannon Cato with Luis Antonio. And I believe that is it. Our scratch players, Yuri Saprikin, who is not ours, Sergei Mayorov, who is also not ours, but Nick Agostino, Tyson Harkins, and Theodore Kolzig. So, yeah, I didn't edit the special team, so I'm not even going to bother showing you guys. Them. Now, God, yawn. That's the story of my life right now, just always tired. I just want to check something really quickly. I believe I stripped Jonathan Drew of the assistant captaincy, and I gave it to Kucherov, which, yes, obviously you can tell I did. So Kucherov now our assistant alongside Jaspers, and still our captain, Victor Hedman. And by the time Hedman retires, I'll say Jaspers will get the C, and then Merkley or Foote will get the A that Jaspers had. So we'll have to wait, though. I mean, Hedman's at least 2 to 3 seasons, I would say, from retiring. And if we stay a contending team, actually going far in the playoffs, that means he could stay with us even longer. Let's just see. Yeah, he's 34, so I'd say at least 2 more years for sure. Hopefully 3. We'll have to wait and see. What's his contract? He's still got 4 more years, so it's not too bad. Pretty expensive, 38 years old. I think he'll still be a serviceable NHL player for us at that time, which is what obviously we hope to see. One more thing. Now, before I start the sim for Season 9, we do have some contracts ready to go. Yeah, that's... I remember I looked at this in the off-season. So Jaspers and Foote are obviously the main ones. Now, neither of them want extensions, which is terrifying. And I would love to give Jaspers an 8-year deal, but I just can't do it because he would want close to $10 million, which is just ridiculous. So I'm going to try and give him $9 million for the next 6 seasons. And we'll see if he likes that. I think that's a very fair offer for him. And I think for how much we are giving him, or for how much he's done for us, and for how much we're giving him more than what he's actually asking for, hopefully he would like to come back. I don't understand why he wouldn't want to come back. I think it's pretty clear that we're going to be a playoff team and a team to be reckoned with. Now for Foote, I'd kind of like to line him up for 6 years as well. Oh, I did look. Yeah, no, I'm going to do 8 years for Foote just because I could get him on a tremendous contract. I think I could get him like 6.6 for the next 8 seasons. So let's try that. We'll see if he likes that contract. Now, as for everybody else, I'm going to keep them unsigned as of right now. We'll wait and maybe change things up, but those are the main 2 I want to see come back to this team. Now, I'll stop the sim when we see whether they accept or decline. But let's see. People are happy that Cal Foote was offered an extension. Does that mean he accepted? To be honest, I'm not sure. He did. Jaspers did as well. All right. So not bad. I'm going to stop the sim here. Did we get through the entire preseason? We did not. Let's advance a couple of days. Oh, wow. Kucherov has 10 points in 4 games. If that's how good that top line is going to be, that's going to be terrifying for the NHL. 12 points in 5 games now. 13 points in 6 games. And we've got 1 more game. Look at us now, Florida. Look at us now. We may be the better team. Obviously, we made the playoffs last season. You guys did not. So I'd say that's a win for us. So Kucherov led the way in the preseason with 15 points in 7 games. And like I said, if he's going to be like that throughout the entire season on that top line, holy frig. Merkley, oh my God, if you could finish off the season with more points than point per game, you would definitely win your first Norris. Hedman as well, so stay point per game. Jaspers was over point per game. I predict that Jaspers will have the least amount of points on that top line. I feel like he'll be around the 60 to 80 point mark. Juin probably could make it around that point per game mark, and then Kucherov I feel like would be the highest around the 90 point mark if everything works out, I should say. Now, obviously anything can happen. but we'll see. Now, I don't think I did this yet, so let's look at the player awards. So, the Stanley Cup went to the Montreal Canadiens, the New York Rangers won the Presidents, and Arizona played Montreal in the final, of course. Stamkos won the Art Ross for the third time in the last 4 seasons. The only other person to win it in the past 4 seasons is current line mate Eli Tolvanen. He also won the Hart for the second season in a row. Dougie Hamilton won the Norris, which I don't think I've ever seen that before, which is kind of cool, though. Tolvanen won the Lady Byng for the third time in the last 4 seasons. Guys, we did it. Oh my god, we actually did it. We finally got a Calder winner in Juha Alavara. That is awesome. Oh my god, I didn't think it would ever happen. That's tremendous. Juha Alavara was the Calder winner last season. So I'm very happy about that because Jaspers wasn't able to do it. Sorelli wasn't able to do it. Merkley wasn't able to do it. I'm just trying to think. Cullimore wasn't. Foote wasn't. Who else? I guess Woolley wasn't. Yeah, so obviously just plenty of people who we just were good rookies but unable to win the Calder. So we finally got that Calder now with Juha Alavara. Tristan? Is it Tristan? I think so. Tristan Jarry won the Conn Smythe. His first name's just completely blanking my mind right now. Eunice Corpusalo won the Vezina this season. Jennings went to Malcolm Subban. Nikita Triumkin won the Bill Masterton. Ryan O'Reilly won the Ryan O'Reilly Award for, I believe, to be the 5th, if not 6th season in a row. Oh my god, this kid's amazing. Stamkos won the Ted Lindsay for the 2nd season in a row. Eli Tolvanen won the Maurice Richard for the 2nd of the last 3 seasons. Man, Kucherov, do you want that Maurice Richard? Do you want that Art Ross? Yeah, you do. Do you want that Conn Smythe? All right, well, let's get it going this season, because why the hell not? So we're almost 20 minutes in, and we haven't really done any simulation. Now, if you guys did watch the last episode, Jesus, that was bad. I did say that I wanted to start looking at some rivalries in this series, so we're going to obviously start off with our main rivalry team in Florida. It's who we've played the most in the playoffs, who we've had encountered probably the most in the series as well. So we're just going to slow sim almost every game that we play against them. So game number 1 against Florida of the season. Let's see how it goes. First period, we are playing in Florida. Jonathan Drouin opens up the scoring of the season. Very nice to see. And then Chris Kreider, which I believe is a new acquisition for Florida. And then Juha Alavara coming off a Calder Trophy winning season, I guess. Yeah, sure. Makes it 2-1. Holtby is still their goalie. It's not Braden Holtby, though. I don't remember his first name. Might be Luke. I'm not sure, though. Second period, we're up 3-1. Matthew Joseph, nice. And then the third period, we almost let them come back. Connor Brown with a goal to make it 3-2. Yeah, 3-2. And then Kucherov with an empty net netter. And that's his first goal of the season to make it 4-2. And then Eli Tolvanen with 27 seconds to go makes it a 4-3 game, which is kind of scary. But all 3 of our stars had a goal and an assist. Nice to see, most definitely. So I guess we'll sim up to that next Florida game. So, yeah, obviously Kucherov leading our team in points alongside Joseph and alongside Alavara, I believe it was. So we'll sim up to our next Florida game, and that's essentially the first month of the season. So I guess that works out pretty well then. And as we do some simming here, I have to answer some people on my phone because I have not in about 35 minutes. So I got to do that. But we're off to a pretty hot start, being 5-1-1 in our first 7 games. It's very nice to see. Hopefully we could be like that through the entire season. Still in the WHL. Goalies this time, yeah. So hopefully we could be like that throughout the entire season, because if we are, that's definitely in contention for President's Trophy. And our first 10 games, we have a record of 7-1-2, which is 16 points out of a possible 20. That's really good. That is a wicked start. There's our only second regulation loss of the year, and hopefully that is only our second of very few. That would be nice. So we're now at our second game against Florida for the season. Again, we are going to Florida for this one. 7-2-2, and Florida is 4-5-0. So we're definitely doing the best. Todd Jasper's leading our team in points. Nice to see. He always seems to start off the season very well by the looks of things. Let's go back to the Atlantic. So we're tied for the division lead with Detroit, who also has 16 points in 11 games played, but they have more regulation losses than us, so what can you do, I guess. Let's head on in and slow sim this Panthers game. Of course, we have to. And I think what's so great about this rivalry for us is that we've faced them twice before in the playoffs. The first two times we made the playoffs, we faced Florida, and then the third time we made the playoffs, the first two times Thatcher Demko was their goalie. Then the third time we played Pittsburgh in the first round, and Thatcher Demko was their goalie once again. It's just very funny, I find. And, of course, obviously, their captain is Steven Stamkos, who I could bring onto this team, but he has just an absolutely abysmal contract. And, I mean, I could definitely get him, but I'd probably have to give up another first, which I don't really plan on doing, which I really didn't want to do for Kucherov. But Kucherov's a lot younger and on a better contract than Stamkos. I could show you guys his contract after, if I remember. So Ronnie Woolley and Lawrence Like open up the scoring about a minute apart from each other in the first. We're up 2-0 heading into the second. We're up 3-0 heading into the third. Mason McDonald is not doing great as a backup currently, and Stephen Party ruins the shutout for Ronnie Thomas. Man, I keep forgetting Thomas's name because we have Ronnie Woolley, and then Ronnie Thomas. It's too much to handle. But yeah, there we go. So we're basically done the first month of the season, and we're looking pretty damn good. Now, I'd like to sim up to the 1st of December, and we'll see can we win our next two games to get us to 10 wins. We cannot. Well, we might be able to win one, which we did, but we're unable to beat the Rangers. Now, on a little bit of a California road trip in San Jose, then LA, then Anaheim. That is a tough road trip, I could imagine. 3 very good teams and 3 very rough teams as well, you could say. Just in general, 3 very talented teams, but we were able to take all 3 of them out, which is tremendous to see. We're now back in the East for one game, and a 6-3 loss to the Islanders is not very good. Now, if you look at our Syracuse record, we are only 12-7-1, I should say now, which, to be fair, I made the team worse this season. Maybe their forward core is still just as good, but their defense, I would say, is not as good as last season. Obviously, they did lose Sean Chipchura. Plus, they don't have a very good, literally NHL backup goalie quality starter in the AHL anymore. They actually have like an AHL starter. Actually, they have what to be considered an AHL backup. So we'll have to see how they do. Obviously, they aren't doing too bad right now, but definitely not as good as some past seasons. Last season was also the first time in the last 3 seasons they did not make it to the Calder Cup Finals. So we'll see if they're able to make it back there this season to ultimately win the whole thing. I almost just said win the thing. It's not at all where I wanted to go with that. So your Tampa Bay Lightning currently have a record of 17-6-2, which is 36 points, which gives us the second place spot in the Atlantic. Montreal is doing tremendous right now, and I mean for good reason. Their top line is absolutely unreal with Marchand and Tavares. Now, first off, I will show you guys that team just so we know what we're up against. We obviously did lose to them in the second round, although Marchand's dropped off a lot He was an 89 or a 91, I believe, last season. And I believe Tavares was also either a 96 or a 95. So they're starting to drop off, starting to get older. But obviously they have Joe Veleno who can get put right up into that first line spot. They have very good center depth as well. Definitely better center depth than us. Even if we had Anthony Cirelli still here as our second line center, we'd have Drouin, who's our first line center, which is the same overall as Veleno. Then Tufte, who is their third line center, would be, which is the same overall as Cirelli, who would be our second line center. Then our third and fourth line centers are two 84s, where their third and fourth is an 85 and then an 84. But I'd say our wingers are definitely better, but center definitely not. But obviously a very good team and hard to handle. I forgot about their defense. Their top six is tremendous, and Tristan Jarry is just absolutely insane. He actually dropped an overall for some reason. He did win the Conn Smythe last season. And to be fair, Ronnie Woolley had better stats than Tristan Jarry, although Tristan Jarry did play, I believe, 12 more games. So there's not much I can do about that. Let's go look at Florida just so I can show. Oh, yeah, Mason McDonald's actually their starter. It's Len Holtby, isn't it? Yeah. Len Holtby is their backup, and yeah, I forgot. It's ever since they lost Demko, they have not been able to get a starter. So they're kind of like in the position that we started off with. Obviously, a good team, good forward and defensive core, but just not good goaltending. Obviously, their forward core is way better than ours ever will be. Their top line is now Eli Tolvanen with Stephen Pardy and Brock Besser. Stamkos is no longer on that top line, because he is starting to drop off. He's no longer a franchise or elite player either. He's also just listed as a top six. But let's show you that contract. So $9.3 million until he is 41 years old. If he had half of that cap left, even 4 years, I would have been okay with more than 6. But 6 years is just too much, and it's something I don't want on this team. Obviously, I know we really aren't in a bad position cap-wise, and we could bring him in. And to be fair, bringing him in could be a tremendous add to the team, and he really doesn't have a lot of value. It's just the problem is that contract is disgusting. And in this game, it's just almost impossible to make a computer team retain salary. Like, even if we were to to be fair, I guess if we were to retain half of his salary, it would be a lot better. But still, I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't think it's worth it. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe once we get to the deadline, maybe we can look at someone who's expendable like Steven Fast. Obviously, he's a fourth liner. Really should be a third liner in the NHL, playing on the top line in the AHL, so he could be expendable. He obviously doesn't have the most potential, but then we also have someone like, I believe, Rick Bruin and then Rocky Nash, who we could use, which I don't really want to give up on all those prospects because those are our top prospects currently. I believe we don't have very many defensive prospects either, which is not good, but we're not doing good. We were actually on a 4-game losing streak there at the start of December, which is not good, but we look to be picking it up. Never mind, maybe not. December just seems to have been a bad month, and I also saw Montreal's record. They are very close to 30 wins, meaning by the time we're probably done this part of the sim, they'll probably be at 30 wins, which, yeah, they are. So they're obviously still in first. We did not have a good month, so we're now not even in second, which kind of is unfortunate, but we're still in third. And realistically, if we were to go on a big win streak, we could get back up into second, maybe even first. Detroit. Who's on Detroit? I believe that is Draisaitl. Let's go look at Detroit, just out of curiosity. But I'm pretty positive that's I think Draisaitl and Raquel duo, I think. Let's go see. Raquel, Draisaitl, and Richie. Second line, they have Casey Middlestat. Third line is very good. Third line, their second line's really good as well. Defensively, they have Dahlin and Gostisbehere as well. Yeah, their defensive core is tremendous as well. Their goaltender, Ilya Sorokin, is just not bad. I mean, 86, I guess would be considered a lower end or low to mid end starter. I mean, he looks good, but maybe it's just the team around him because their stats just aren't very good. Interesting. Their backup is awful, and David Bales, I'm sure he's doing great. No, he's actually not. That's surprising, but there's a quick look at Detroit for you guys, who I had thought we were going to play in the first round of the playoffs last season. Now, curiosity, like I said, I think Kucherov could stick or stay around a 90-point pace. Let's see, he's currently at 46 points in 38 games. Jasper's with 36 and 38, and Jerome at 35 and 38. Ryan Merkley has 33 and 38. Oh my god, if he keeps it up like that for the entire season, he could genuinely win a Norris. That would be awesome. I've never had a defenseman win a Norris before. That would be so sick. I want to see Alavara. How many points did he have last season? 49. Will he top that this season? I mean, it's looking like he may get around that, or in that 50-point area. Pat Stillman, by the way, doing very good. Obviously, I'm giving him power play time. How many points does he have on the power play? 7. 4 of those are goals, too. So he's doing not too bad with Cal Foote. Obviously, Cal Foote did a lot better with Anthony D'Angelo. Foote is actually an 87 as well. He was an 88 because of morale boost, but he's actually a straight 87. So that's not bad. I was thinking he was going to drop to like an 86 or an 85, but no, we're good. Pat Stillman, with how good he's doing right now, and he's on pace for close to 50 points if he continues to play the way he is right now. He's on pace to become a 50-point defenseman, which means he'd get a huge boost, probably to like an 82 to 84, which means we'd basically replace Anthony D'Angelo with Pat Stillman, which would be sick. I'm not gonna lie, but obviously not that doesn't always happen. We have a very minus line. Our third line is awful. Oleg Tuden with Tyson Cullimore and Brett Howden. I believe none of them are all that offensive. Well, to be fair, Tuden has wicked offensive awareness. Cullimore has pretty decent offensive awareness. I know Howden is more of a defensive forward. But wow, that third line is awful. Ronnie Woolley only has 2 points playing on that second pair. I think it's almost worth putting Ronnie Woolley on that third pair and putting Pat Stillman on that second pair just so he plays with Cal Foote full time. I just think that makes sense. Leonov, how you doing? You're not doing good. I knew he was listed as a minor scoring forward at the start of the season, but you know what? We're going to send him back down to the AHL. He just seems like he should be an AHLer, which means Stephen Fast is going to get the call up, and we're going to try some things out here. So Stephen Fast gets the call up, and we will send down, Leonov. So Leonov will go on waivers. Will he get claimed? Wait, let's see. Come on, holy frig, come on. Did he? Okay, Leonov did not get claimed, which is nice to see. I was really hoping he wasn't going to, so I'm happy about that. But let's make some changes here now, guys. So I believe he's a center. Yes, he is. Stephen Fast is actually an 81, which is not bad. Very good defensively, not great offensively. So let's see. I need to think of something here. What could I do to spice up that third line? Hentonen is doing really good just because he's got 2 goal scorers on opposite sides of him. He'll probably have 100% a career year this season. But that third line, I need to change it. It's just not good. Stephen Fast. I don't know what to do. Lawrence Lake. J.C. Goddard. No, you can't really. You're not great at face-off. So, Stephen Fast can play center. Tyson Cullimore will get dropped to the 4th line. And I guess Goddard will play on that new 3rd line. So we've got Goddard, who can make plays. It's not at all how I wanted to word that. Who can be a playmaker to goal scorer Tuden, and then hopefully Howden can just get some extra points in there. As for I believe he was leading our fourth lineman points. Stephen Fast will now try him out to see with Tyson Cullimore. Now we're going to put Cullimore on the left because Cullimore can score goals. We'll see if he does. Stephen Fast at 30 points in 39 AHL games. Most definitely on a career high. Or he was, I should say. So, interesting. Now let's try Stillman full-time on that second pair. And I guess that is it. Now, one thing I did not do is check the goaltending. Oliver Rodrigue not doing too bad as a backup. Ronnie Thomas not doing too great, which is scary because of the fact that he can drop. But he looks to be a natural 89, which I think I might go and check out just in case. So let's add in, I believe, Vitaly Leonov to this lineup, because that makes our AHL team a little bit worse, I guess, but they're all relatively familiar with Leonov, I would say, just because of who he is and how good he has been for our AHL team. So I guess that will be all the changes we now make. Torsten Gustafsson is tearing it up right now in the AHL. Now, yeah, I want to go see. Let's see, where's the progress reports? I do want to see, is Ronnie Thomas a natural 89? No, he's not. So he could drop down to an 82. If he drops down to an 82 because he's having a bad season right now, that would not be good. Sorry about that, yawn, but that would not be good because we are doing good right now. Well, the last month wasn't great, but we are doing good. Maybe with those simple little line changes we made, maybe that will also make Ronnie Thomas do a little bit better. Now, let's see if we can get a win here against the probably Eastern Conference leading Montreal Canadiens. We'll sim up to the deadline, and then we'll make our mind up about a Steven Stamkos trade. So another loss to Montreal. I don't think we've beat them yet this season, but we were able to beat Ottawa, who is a divisional opponent, which is nice to see. Now we're into the United States for scouting, but let's just see if we can get on a bit of a win streak here. Well, we won the first two Thursdays of January, which is not good. Will we lose on the third Thursday of January as well to the Golden Knights? We will not. It was a shootout win. Nashville's not a great team. Can we beat them? Yes, we can. All right, nice to see. Edit scouting assignment. Here we go. So we're almost done. I just did that for 1 week. I'm going to have to go back there again. Ethan Bear, no. For Rocky Nash, definitely no. But yeah, we're going to sim up to the deadline. We're going to see how much value Stamkos has. We're going to see what we'd even be able to give up. Obviously, we'd be able to give up a roster spot, or a roster player, I should say. But we'd also have to probably give up on a draft pick. And like I said, it's not something I really want to do. It's not something I'm looking at doing either. And this is a draft to glory franchise mode, so our draft picks are important. But I was fairly confident with the addition of Kucherov, this team would be tremendous enough that we would not need our first round pick. And by the looks of it, that is true, which is nice to see. I need to go back to the United States because I didn't get to scout the goaltenders because I screwed up the whole thing there. But yeah, we're almost at the deadline. We'll see how much value Stamkos has. We'll see what we'd even be able to give up. We'll also see if they will retain any bit of salary, because that's the only way I would be taking on that contract. And if I have to retain 50%, but I have to give up a roster spot, a first, and like 2 seconds or something, you know what? I'd be okay with it. I think I truly would be. Just for the fact that it's way less expensive. It would be around, I don't remember the exact number of his contract. I think it was like 935 or 9 million point. Wait, sorry, 935,000,000. All right, so 9.3 million, something along the lines of that, divided by 2 is 4.675. So, like, I mean, if it's under a $5 million deal for the next 6 seasons, I could live with that. Jacob Cederholm, no thank you. You were not drafted by us, so you can be gone. I don't know who you were drafted by, but I know it wasn't us. I believe I want to say Minnesota or Chicago. Don't quote me on that. I'm sorry that I don't know. I'm not, guess I'm not really on that Jacob Cederholm bandwagon. My bad, guys. Oh, man, I have so many text messages right now. We've got so many freaking trade offers. I don't want all of these. Unless there's one for Stamkos, then maybe, I guess. Let's see. So, yeah, we're done North America, and we're in the SHL right now doing defensemen. But let's see, guys. We're about 4 or 5 days away from the deadline. We have 40 wins, which is very nice. Lucas Johansson again. No, thank you. We'll see if we are in any position to make that trade for Stevie Stammer. Nash was a 78. Is he listed as no, he's still listed as a minor scoring forward. Gertson is still listed as another forward, and Gustafsson is still listed as a minor checking forward. Let's take all them off the block. I did not know they were on the block. But okay. Boone Jenner, no thank you. But thank you. No thank you, but thank you. So 43, 18, and 3. What a last couple of months that was for us. We now have the division lead. Exactly my point. I told you guys, if we go on a decent enough win streak, we can most definitely take the second or even first position in our division. Not only that, we are currently the best team in the Eastern Conference, and not only that, we are currently the best team in the NHL, which is really nice to see. So we have played 64 games. San Jose has also played 64 games, and they have one less point than us. So I guess who we could be worried about is San Jose and Montreal. They have 2 games less played than us, but they're 5 points behind us. Now, just out of curiosity, I do want to see Kucherov's stats. Obviously, he's got 72 points in 64 games right now. Todd Jaspers is loving it on that top line. We could have 2 40-goal scorers this season. Oh, my God. Now, I am not going to look at the entire league yet because I don't want to see who's leading the league in points. I don't want to see what defenseman is leading the league in points. I don't want to know who has the most goals. I want to wait till the end of the season to see if Kucherov's in any position, to see if Merkley's in any position. For obviously Kucherov for the Art Ross and the Maurice Richard, and then Merkley for the Norris. Although Hedman's really picked it up as well. Henton is just doing tremendous. Stillman actually has more points than Foote, which I find pretty funny. But again, I was thinking he was going to land around that 50-point mark. Not looking too good, but please hit that 40-point mark, and that would be tremendous. How is Stephen Fast doing? 11 points in 26 games. You know what? That's not too bad. It's better than what Leonov did, so I guess you can't really complain. That bottom pair, can you guys put up a combined 10 points? All you need is 3? Yeah, 3 points. So please, please, please do that. That would be awesome. Leading our team in plus-minus is currently Todd Jaspers. Goalies, that's the other thing I wanted to look at. So Ronnie Thomas, still not doing too great. Definitely not having the regular season he had last season, unfortunately. But if he can have at least a .920 or above save percentage at the end of the season, I don't think he'll drop off. And if he does, it won't be a huge amount, which is obviously the ideal situation there. Now, let's go and hit up Florida. Not like I want to make a trade with the Florida Panthers because divisional rival, our rivalry team, but if we can get Steven Stamkos on a half-decent salary retention from them, I think it's worth it because, like I said, guys, he does not have a lot of value. He's also now 36, which is even more terrifying. So Yeah, 9.365. The only way I'm taking this is if you guys retain 50%. You guys wouldn't even be able to retain 50% because of your salary issues, which is not good. It says they can. Well, maybe not then. So, who would we give up? Wow, Hedman's losing value quickly, which is not very good. Rick Bruin. Now, I can't bring him up into the NHL, unfortunately. He's listed as a top 6 as well. I can't bring him up because I have him unsigned, and he's, I believe, to be a CHL player, so I cannot call him up, which definitely sucks. Let's head on over here, sort it by NHL, and we'll see who's expendable. Brett Howden would be expendable. I would not mind giving up on Brett Howden. That's nowhere near the value. I mean, I wasn't going in there and be like, oh yeah, Brett Howden, that's going to be enough. Obviously not. Our first next year, still not enough. We're like just over halfway there. Let's go to goalies. I don't think we have any. Oh, we do. We have Norton. All right, well, Norton can help. Norton will most definitely help. Phil Norton, a goalie prospect. You know what? That's pretty even. Proposed trade. No, I didn't think so, but it was worth a shot. Stevie, man, I want him to come here. I really do. It's just that contract is so buns. Absolutely buns. What else? Well, so we give them a goaltending prospect, which is obviously something they very much need. Although Menino doesn't look that bad. Michael Menino, but Holtby, not great. Mason McDonald, obviously not great. Wow, their duo, their tandem right now is currently making about 2.78 million, or $2.785 million combined. Although Holtby's on an expiring deal, which means he could go to free agency, and then they let Menino step in as the backup, which would be ideal. But anyways, we're gonna give them Norton because he's a prospect. Now, what else do we have to give up, I guess? Let's see. So, unsigned players. Bruin is off the table, no. Sigalet has quite a decent amount of value. Let's add him in and just see. That will not go through. I didn't expect it to, but it was worth a shot. Now, let's see. Who is expendable that is playing in the NHL with value? So far we have Kent Welsh, who I'd really rather not give up. But, you know what? If that's the case, then maybe we might have to. Gertson, also don't really want to give up, but again, if that's the case, that's fine. Gustafson is a no. Zabinajad wouldn't be a bad option, but I don't think that's enough value. Florida would have too many skaters. Oh, that's a problem. We'd have to bring back a skater, which I can't really... Well, I mean, I can do it, but they have to be on an expiring deal, and I cannot use them. There's nobody who doesn't have any value that they want to get rid of either. Let's just go for Brooks. Crooks. Actually, no, we're not going to go for him just because he could actually, if I were to do best lines or something, he could actually make our AHL team. Ooh, there was a 60-something overall guy I saw. Come on, scroll back up. Let's see. I swore I saw 63 overall. 68? Yeah, 68 to 23. Moen. Let's see if we could take you then. Would that go through? It would not. I'm wondering, though, if that's because of the salary retention. So, you know what? Let's cut it down to 40%. I have seen computers let 40% go. Trade rejected. It was a short message. I'm like, wait, did they accept it? But no, they did not. I'm going up. Let's head on down to 35%. I need to retain as much salary as I possibly can on this contract. Let's try 30% then, I guess. Proposed trade. Still a no-go. 25% is the lowest I will go. 25%. Is that enough? It is not, so we have to give up more. Alright, well, you know what? Let's just completely take Sigalet out. Let's throw in, where was he? Zabinajad, alright. And then someone else. Gustafson, no. I don't like this. Sort it by potential again, please, or not potential, but by the league. So Nash is a no. Hickett's not much value. Welsh, I'd really rather not. Kristanovich, I guess, is an option. Gertson is an option. Gustafson is a no. Fast, no, I don't want to. So Gustafson, no. So who was it then? Gertson. We'll try Gertson. Is that enough? I'd have to take back another skater as well. Let's see. It has to be. They have to be on an expiring deal because I don't want them on this team. So Smirnov. Sure. Boris Smirnov. Would that go through? Actually, before we even try that, I want to see if we can get this salary retention. So let's try 50%, and we'll see if that goes through. Proposed trade. Trade rejected. How about 40%? 40%. Proposed trade. Trade rejected. You know, if I can't get this to go through, then I don't think Stamkos will be coming to this team. Proposed trade of 35% also will not go through. You know, we'll go all the way down to 25%, and if that doesn't go through, then I don't think it's happening. It's a trade rejected. I don't know if it's the value or if it's the salary retention, but I do not want to take on $9.6 million for the next season. Or what, 9.3, whatever it is. It's just not a good contract. Like, I mean, we've already got one kind of bad, lengthy contract in Hedman. Hedman is actually making more than Stamkos, and is also, I believe, is less years. But no, I'm not gonna do it, guys. No, I can't do that. I can't sell everything we have in order to get one player that's good for the next 2 to 3 seasons. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm not going to make any changes then to our team. This is the team we have heading into the playoffs that are essentially inevitable at this point. We have 43 wins. I would be pretty damn rough if we really managed to screw something up. 45 wins, I mean, honestly, at this point, we are close enough to, if not already there, where we're at the point where they could genuinely just, you know what, you guys have already clinched. Now we just wait to see what your final position will be. But, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious we're clearly going to make the playoffs here. Now, I didn't mean to stop the sim. Yeah, no, I don't know what I was doing there. I was going to say something, but that's just, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I have to take my headset off, though, for a sec. My neck is getting uncomfortable. Sorry, just one sec, guys. Alright, there we go. We should be better now. Hopefully everything works out now. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. That's much more comfortable. Alright. Continuing on in the Liga. I'm not going to do the goalies in the Liga just since there's 2. It's not really worth it. We have 50 wins on the season. Can we finish with 55 is the question, though. No, we cannot. How about 54? No, 53. We can, and it is against Florida. I love it. And we have the New York Islanders in the first round. Now, I'm not going to do the playoffs in this episode. I'm going to do them in the next one, but it is the moment of truth now, I guess. But, well, not this very moment. But our top line is sick. Jasper says 94. I'm assuming it's Morale, yeah. But he's a 94. Duran, 91. Kucherov, a 95. Second line of 84, Joseph, 84, Hentonen, 86, Alavara. And our third line, 82, Goddard, 83, Howden, 82, Tuden. The fourth line of 82 like, 82 fast. That is not natural growth. And 83 Cullimore. Defensively, oh my god, I saw Stillman at an 83, but it was just because it was loading down and it was slow. I was actually about to piss myself. If he was an 83, I would be so happy. But we have a 93. Does that count for anything? Hedman, 93. Merkley, 92. Foot, not 8. I almost said 97. Could you imagine? 87. Stillman at 79. Woolley, 80. Chipchura, 78. The goaltending, Ronnie Thomas, still in 89. And Oliver Rodrigue, still in 80. Now, so obviously the team hasn't changed. Well, there's a couple of overall changes in some places. But now the moment of truth. Kucherov obviously led our team in points. He had 91 points this season. Is that enough for the league lead, though? We'll see. We'll see in just a moment. So, only 3 teams from our division made the playoffs. It was us, obviously, with 111 points. We had the most points in the East, which is a very good sign for that whole president's contendership. There we go. The Canadians finished in second place with only 1 point behind us. Detroit finished in third. Then, obviously, Florida was the next best team, but they just weren't good enough. That Metro, just like in real life, still very good. So let's just say we had 254 goals for. That's actually third in our division, which is crazy. 3.10 goals for, really good, but again, it's not the highest. That's actually fourth in our division. 206 goals against, the least in our division, so that's good. Goals against per game, the average, also the least on our team or in our division. Power play goals, we were second in our division. Ottawa had 60 power play goals. They only had 60 points. Jesus. Total power plays, we were third. I guess you can't really measure that, though. Wow, power play percentage, we were not that great. We were fifth in our division, so that's interesting. Shorthanded goals against, we had 3 against, which is not great. The other 2 teams that made the playoffs within our division had 0. Power play goals against, we had the least. That's very nice to see. With 33 times. Shorthanded, we had the third least, which is nice to see as well. Our penalty kill was the best in our division. That is nice. Our shorthanded goals for was the worst in the division. We were the only team in our division without a shorthanded goal, which is surprising. Our home record was second in our division. Our away record was top of our division. So we're very good on the road. Our last 10 was not too great. We were 5-3-2. Detroit had the best final 10-7-2-1. So obviously, like I said, we lead the Eastern Conference in points. Now, let's see. Did we lead the league in points? We did. Okay. Awesome, guys. So, what I believe to be the first President's Trophy winning Tampa Bay Lightning in this series. Crazy. It's taken 9 seasons, but it has finally happened. That is awesome. Very nice to see. Obviously, I'm very happy about that. Now, though, it's almost the moment of truth to see if Kucherov will win in Art Ross. We had 2 40-goal scorers. Now, I don't see Jaspers or Kucherov winning. Hey, Maurice Richard with only 41 goals, especially not with some of the talent in here, but you never know. It could happen. I think Kucherov was definitely more on pace for around the 50 mark at the start of the season, but that's fine. If we could ever get someone on that top line to 100 points, I would be ecstatic. But we need that really good playmaker on that top line, where Drouin, not a tremendous playmaker. He can score, and he can make some passes. I was going to say make some plays again, but he is more of a goal scorer. Merkley kind of fell off, but definitely had a career year. 67 points. I don't know if that's good enough for Norris. Hopefully the plus 24, hopefully only 4 penalty minutes and 22 power play points will help him out in the long run. He played 25 minutes of ice time, or an average of 25 minutes as well. We'll see, guys. Hopefully he's in the Norris contention. Hedman with 52. Joseph with 46, Hentonen with 44, Alvaro with 40, Stillman with 35. So really good. I was thinking he was going to hit the 40-point mark. Unfortunately, he did not. But if he can get a boost from those 35 points, that would be tremendous. Cal Foote with 34, I believe the lowest total he's had in the past couple of seasons. Let's head on back here and we'll see. Yeah, 34 is actually tied for what he had 3 seasons before this one, I guess. Although he was in the box a lot more this season than normal, I guess you could say. Interesting. Oleg Toon with 27 points. J.C. Goddard, 24. Like with 20. Cullimore with only 16. That's just not good. Just really isn't. Apart from that one great season, or I guess the first 2 seasons in the NHL he had, it's been downhill from there. Stephen Fast, 15 points in 44 games. I mean, that's not bad. Basically did what Cullimore did, but in 38 games less, so what can you do? Brett Howden with 14 points, Vitaly Leonov, obviously we sent him down, Sean Chipchura with 7, and Ronnie Woolley with 4, so they were able to finish with a combined 10 points. Let's go to goalies. Ronnie Thomas, only a .917 save percentage, which is not very good. 2.45 GA, also not very good. Rodrigue, though, a very good backup. I mean, he was this season. He had 15 wins for us. So, who were our rookie skaters? It was Stephen Fast, who led the way with only 44 points. That is not good. Don't have a rookie goaltender, of course. So, now, guys, moment of truth. Is Nikita Kucherov at the top of the league for points? I'm going to say no. He is most definitely not. Matt Gerard led the league in points and what I assume to be goals as well. Jesus. Matt Gerard, a left-wing sniper. Obviously, I do know who this is because I saw him get drafted in 2021. A left-wing sniper. He looks tremendous. He looks to have. Well, yeah, I was gonna say. I know he's been good. I don't think he's been that good yet. Had his best career absolutely everywhere. Most goals he's ever scored this season, most assists he's ever had this season, most points, best plus minus. Most power play points, most game-winning goals. I mean, he was just tremendous this season. Will win the Art Ross and what I'm assuming the Rocket Richard as well. Ty Ronning, his line mate, with 102 points. Jesus, he was one shy of 50. They could have had 2 50 goal scorers. Tavares came in third, or Tavares and Eichel tied in third. Tom Mann in fourth. Seguin in fifth. Kucherov in sixth, which is not bad. Tolvanen, not too bad either, but, buddy, unfortunately, you were drafted by Nashville and not by Tampa, so I can't bring you to this team. Barkov with 88. He had a really good season. Jaspers, top 10 in the league. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, he is top 10 in the league in points. That is awesome to see. Marchand still doing great, even though he's in 86 overall right now. I'm trying to figure out who was the first-line center in Washington with Ronning and Gerard, I believe. Stamkos, he had a good year, but he's now 91 overall. He is starting to drop, and he is starting to drop quickly. Was it Tyson Jost? No, he's an Islander. Who in the hell, or where in the hell I should say, is who in the hell is the first line center in Washington? Is it Travis Konechny? Really? Interesting. 75 points. So yeah. Oh, Tyson Jost had 53. I just saw that. Tyson Jost actually stole the Rocket Richard from Matt Gerard. Well, that rhymed. That's upsetting. I would have much rather seen Gerard take that home because obviously that's just a tremendous season. Only had 250 goal scorers. We have plenty of 40-plus goal scorers, though. Over a whole page of them, and Jaspers and Kucherov were in that column, so I'm very happy to see that. Let's go. Most assists in the league went to Jack Eichel with 64. I see Dougie Hamilton up there once again. Ryan Merkley, though, top 10 as well. We'll see. Let's go. Highest plus minus went to Todd Jaspers, you absolute stud. 45 plus minus, absolute beast. Colton Parayko with plus 44 came in second. Interesting. So, guys, I guess that's it for the league. Let's go look at defensemen now. Oh, come on. Merkley could totally get it, guys. He was tied in second place for points through the entire league as a defenseman. Tied with Jake Bean, and 4 less points than Dougie Hamilton. He had the highest plus minus of those 3 defensemen as well. He had the least penalty minutes or I guess those 2, I should say. I mean, Jones is in contention as well. Jones had 3 less points than Merkley and Bean. He had the highest plus minus out of all of them. He had a lot of penalty minutes, though. Let's just continue on. Seth Jones had the most power play goals out of those 4. Most power play points was Jake Bean, although Merkley was in second. The only shorthanded goal for those 4 was to Jake Bean. He also had 2 shorthanded points. Most game-winning goals was Merkley. Merkley was in second for most shots, and he was in second for ice time among those defensemen as well. Jesus Christ, Oscar Klefbom plays a lot. 26-40, almost half the game. That is unreal. But yeah, guys, honestly, I feel very confident, and I think Merkley has a chance on winning his first Norris. I truly think it could happen. Tied for second in points. One of the higher plus minuses there. Almost the least amount of penalty minutes as a defenseman. Guys, I don't know. I really think that Ryan Merkley has a shot in winning us a Norris, which I would be so beyond happy to see. The goaltending who led the league in wins was the goaltender who led the league in wins was Tristan Jarry. Here's a guy we could always try and make a trade for as well, but he's just way too valuable, and it's just absolutely gross. Where is Ronnie Thomas? He had 38 wins. Not too bad. Best save percentage in the league as a starter was Connor Hellebuck with a .924. So this season was not great. If I were to guess, I would assume UC Saros would probably take home the Vezina. Maybe, I don't know, I was going to say maybe Jake Ottinger, but I was looking at Gilly Sen's stats. That was a mistake by me then. Yeah, I mean, UC Saros, maybe Corpusalo. Although I did hear something on a stream the other day that I think they literally just take whoever has the highest save percentage in the league will take home the Vezina, which I don't know if that's true or not, and I don't know how that would be measured because there's 2 players with the same save percentage. So that would be interesting. Let's see, who led the league in rookie points? Harvey Wagner, top 5 overall pick. He had 52 points, 32 goals this season. Rookie goalies. Let's see. I'm trying to swallow, but my throat is just that dry. I cannot. That is not healthy. Starter, Michael DiPietro, looks to be the best rookie goaltender there, and he wasn't tremendous. He's also a lower-end starter, so interesting. But, guys, I think there's a chance that I really do think there's a chance Ryan Merkley can bring us a Norris, but we'll have to find out in the next episode, guys. So, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you did all enjoy. This will be the end of this episode. Tune in next time where we face the New York Islanders after a President's Trophy winning season. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.